Welcome back to Dixie Alley Weather Center. My name is Caleb Crick. Today is Tuesday, September 30th, 2025, and I've got a lot of updates for you today, especially concerning our two hurricanes out there in the western Atlantic Ocean right now. Hurricane Imelda is rapidly weakening and will potentially become a post-tropical cyclone as we go into the next couple of days and move in the direction of Europe. Right now, it is causing some problems with some heavy rain and some gusty winds in areas like Bermuda, but that will diminish as we go throughout the next couple of days and eventually cause some problems to areas like Europe. No problems to the United States with this system, but we have been seeing some trouble with our other system, Hurricane Imelda, that is off the East Coast. This won't make landfall in the U.S. This is now beginning its curve away from the United States and will cause some problems down the road in areas like Bermuda with some hurricane-like impacts as this thing is strengthening. But the only impacts we will continue to see across the East Coast is some heavy rainfall and some dangerous seas over the next few days. I will also be talking about the return of some rainfall as we go into this weekend and into the beginning of next week across the southeast parts of the Gulf states and even moving off towards the north as we get some tropical moisture that will start to build in the Gulf of America. That could, some of the models are showing this developing. Right now it's pretty uncertain. I'll continue to watch that for the potential of it developing, but right now the only thing that we are certain of is this is going to bring a lot of much needed rainfall for many areas in the Dixie Alley. All of this and more included in this video, so let's get right into it. Here's a look at our view from satellite imagery right now of the western Atlantic Ocean and parts of the East Coast. We've been taking this view a lot over the past few days. It's just because this is where all the action has been happening over the few days. Luckily, these systems are going to be moving away from the United States. This is probably the last day we're going to be really going into depth or more in depth about what is going to be happening with these two systems, because they will not be causing any more effects in the coming days to parts of the East Coast, and that is really a blessing. But right now, here's a look at our two tropical systems. This is Hurricane Imelda, not looking like much of a hurricane anymore. Yesterday, when I did my video, this was a Category 4. Now it's already down to a Category 1, and will likely continue to weaken as it turns into a normal low-pressure system and moves away from the United States, not causing any problems besides those dangerous seas along with Imelda. But what Imelda will do is continue to pull Imelda away from the United States and in the direction of Bermuda, possibly causing some major impacts down the road with some hurricane force winds and some very, very dangerous seas and storm surge areas along the Bermuda coast. All of Bermuda under hurricane warnings now for the potential of this system, but the main areas we're looking at is throughout much of the Dixie Alley, and I could just say I'm very glad that this system is going to be moving away. The only impacts that are going to be felt is still the dangerous rip currents, dangerous wave heights, and some continuous rain across parts of the Carolinas. Once again, this isn't like flash flooding type of rain, just some like light sprinkles and stuff like that, some maybe gusty winds. But once again, no hurricane or tropical storm-like impacts for anybody along the East Coast. The rest of the Dixie Alley, though, is going to remain pretty dry and pretty clear over the next few days. And the reason behind all this heat and dry air that we are going to be seeing over the next couple of days, especially across the central and western portions of the Dixie Alley, is because this high-pressure system that is building across over the Ohio Valley. Many areas of high pressure across most of the United States going to allow for a lot of hotter temperatures. Most of the fronts are going to be up to the north. Zonal flow is what you call that. We will start to see some fronts start to move into the U.S. as we go farther into the weekend and the beginning of next week, especially as we get that system that will probably move in from the Gulf and cause some more rain activity. I'll talk about that in a minute, but you can see a lot of high pressure. We have this little low pressure system. I wouldn't even call it a low pressure system because there's no rain and showers and thunderstorms with this one, but there's a lot of cloud cover. But what this thing is doing is it's bringing in a lot of moist, warm air from the Gulf, causing a lot of hot air to build across much of the central U.S. The hotter temperatures, like I said, are going to be farther off to the west. We still will be seeing much above average temperatures for most areas, but along the East Coast, we will remain a little bit cooler than other areas. Doesn't mean we won't be above average. You guys probably, most of the days, will still be above average, like us farther out to the west. But over here along the coast, there will be more opportunities for rain and showers and thunderstorms, especially when we get this moisture that will build in the Gulf of America as we go into the beginning of next week. That will promote a lot of heavy rainfall that will stay along in some of the same areas that will allow for some cooler air to mix in. It won't get as hot, especially with those areas that get some downpours through the day. And then after that, areas off to the north may get some showers and thunderstorms with this complex that will move in from the Gulf. A lot of areas will be seeing rain, but after that, we'll start to dry off for a pretty long time period, probably for about a week, before we start to see those fronts start to come in from the west again and break through our high pressure systems. So this is just a look at what's going on right now. Most areas are going to be dry and warm, at least through the rest of this week until we get that front that will come through and cause some more moisture to much of the Dixie Alley. So here's a look at the rainfall we can see across the Dixie Alley, at least going into the next week or so. You can see right now, this is after by the time those two hurricanes move out of here. We still have a lot of moisture, you can see, that will continue across portions of Florida. Florida's the one area that will remain pretty active over the next couple of days. You guys will dry out for maybe a day or two throughout midweek this week. But as we go into the weekend, you guys will be the first ones to start getting more active again. A lot more rain, showers, and thunderstorms are likely across the area as we go into the next couple of days. That will continue. Most areas will remain dry across the rest of the Dixie Alley unless you're far along the East Coast. A few isolated showers and thunderstorms, but most areas will remain dry until we go into the weekend. This is Saturday, Sunday, and into next week. The GFS model is hinting at a lot of moisture. Most of the models are. We know that for sure a lot of moisture will start to build in the Gulf of Mexico. You can see this, or Gulf of America here. You can see all of this moisture building in the Gulf of America and moving across much of Florida. Florida will be getting a lot of rainfall, a lot of high rain totals. I'll get to that in a minute. But this will be moving from south to the north. And the GFS model, you can see, is also trying to hint at some development maybe just south of the panhandle of Florida. It's not showing as well now as it was, but this thing will change a lot before all is said and done. It's just showing a little bit of road circulation trying to get together here, maybe a little low pressure system that may form off of this. We don't have to watch this very closely, but I'm keeping my eye on it. I'll let you know if some of the models are hinting at more development with this system down the road. It won't, no matter what, it won't have a big window to develop into anything big. So no, at the most, it could be a tropical depression or a tropical storm. But once again, we don't even know that much yet. But you can see a lot of moisture. Beginning of next week is going to be pretty wet across much of the Dixie Alley, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, especially farther out to the west, where we haven't seen a lot of rainfall over the past few days. It could be a good thing. Could get rid of some of those drought conditions. But it's not going to be a ton of rain, and eventually it's going to be out of there for most of the Dixie Alley. But the farther you go out to the south, the rain chances will continue. The farther you go out to the south and east, especially, rain chances will continue, while areas to the north and west will dry out a little bit until we go, farther off into the future and we start to get those big storm fronts. We'll start to see I do believe we will start to see the return of some level of severe weather, maybe as we go into the second week of October across much of the Dixie Alley. We'll have to watch for that for our second severe weather season as we go deeper into October and farther into the future. Things become more of a mess, become more uncertain. But what we do know in the coming days, we will start to see a lot of moisture build in the Gulf of Mexico this weekend and into the beginning of next week, starting across Florida. And then after this system moves out of here, areas to the southeast will remain pretty wet and muggy, while areas to the north and west will start to dry out and get a lot warmer. Here's a look at some of the total rainfall accumulations we could see going into the next couple of days, into this weekend, into the beginning of next week, with the rainfall that will start to build across much of the Dixie Alley. You can see all this rain luckily off the coast from Hurricane Imelda, as that will start to move off towards the east, not causing too many problems to the east coast, as much flooding as we thought, but some areas in the Carolinas could still pick up an additional 1 inch of rainfall. Most areas won't even pick up that. These won't be heavy downpours. These will mainly be just some showers, really light showers, in many areas not even picking up. Most areas I don't expect to even pick up an inch. Most areas will be a quarter to a half an inch. But as we go down the road, as we go into this weekend and into the beginning of next week, we'll see a lot of moisture start to build across parts of the Gulf of the Gulf of America as we go into the coming weeks. This will all stay localized over. Most of this will stay offshore, but we'll start to see this move onto shore as we go into the beginning of next week. Areas like New Orleans picking up 3 to 5 inches of rainfall possibly as we go into the beginning of the week next week. This will all start to move off to the north. A lot of moisture will start to or will remain in parts of the western Atlantic Ocean from the remnants of Hurricane Imelda as that moves away. Some areas along the East Coast looking like the target points, at least what the European model is showing. I'm not expecting as much as this is showing, especially in some areas in North Carolina. It says it's picking up 10 to 14 inches of rain. Really do not expect even that much in most areas. Most areas just picking up maybe up to 5 inches. In some areas, the farther you go out to the south and east, the areas the higher chances for rainfall will be. But you can see some areas in the northern Mississippi, western Tennessee area, maybe picking up 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. That'd be really good, especially with some of those drought conditions we are experiencing here. A lot of the models will show a lot of different things. We'll see what's happening, but most of Dixie Alley is going to at least have the chance for some rainfall as we go into the next couple of days. I'll narrow that down as we come towards the weekend into the beginning of next week. The main target points looking like the East Coast and parts of the southeast where the most rainfall should fall over the next couple of weeks, and then down towards areas like southern Mississippi and southern Louisiana with some additional rain totals, 3 to 5 inches in some spots. But once again, not like we don't need this rainfall. Most areas, will be very glad for this additional rainfall. But once again, even as we go down the road, the main areas that will be seeing all the rainfall will be along the East Coast. And as you can see, the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook from the Weather Prediction Center pretty much agrees that most areas in the Dixie Alley will be near or above average with the rainfall amount that we'll be seeing over the next around 2 weeks. We'll be seeing, once again, that buildup of moisture from the Gulf. And after it dissipates from the northern half of the Dixie Alley, it will remain pretty active in the southern half along the Gulf Coast and parts of the East Coast. With some training showers and thunderstorms that will continue to build in the Gulf and move off to the north and east, just causing a lot of problems with some potential flooding. A lot of rainfall, much needed rainfall for many areas, especially down here in the New Orleans, southern Mississippi and southern Alabama areas. We really need rainfall down here because it's been pretty dry lately. We were getting into some of those drought conditions, so much needed rainfall for many areas. But the farther you go to the north and west, the drier it will be. We will see some rainfall in some areas in the northwest, but most areas will remain pretty dry, especially the main window for rain will only be a couple of days, and then it will be pretty isolated and more scattered the farther you go off down to the south and east. So the main story is going to be the drying up to the north and west after this rainy system, but most areas will be seeing, like I said, some level of rainfall across the Dixie Alley. But the main areas that are going to be seeing the most rainfall is going to be centered around the south and east, as we'll have a lot of buildup of moisture, like I said, across parts of the Atlantic Ocean and parts of the Gulf of America. It does concern me a little bit that we will be seeing a lot of moisture that will stay over the same areas in the Gulf of America over the next couple of weeks. Over those really warm sea temperatures, we could see a possible development. Some of the models are hinting at that, but it changes all the time. So once again, just continue to check back for updates for the latest. Nothing concerning at this moment, but we could have something to be looking at down the road. And once again, that is all the weather info I've got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning into today's video and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you click the like button and subscribe for more daily video updates like this one. I try to post videos every single day, especially when we've got a lot going on across the Dixie Alley. Most of the activity will be moving away from the Dixie Alley, most of the United States, as Imelda starts to rocket off to the east towards Bermuda. We won't have any more problems from Imelda as we go down the road, but we could see some more tropical trouble as we go down into the future, especially since hurricane season isn't near over yet. It ends in November, so we still got a lot to go, a lot to watch over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of months. But once again, I've got you covered here, and I'll let you know as soon as something looks concerning, especially in the tropics. But the main story is going to be the moisture that will build as we go into this weekend, into the beginning of next week. Nothing severe, but I will be watching for some tropical moisture, some tropical spin-ups as we go into the next couple of days. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to today's video, and I will see you in the next one.